You know all too well.
Yeah. All right. Well, our next guest has some market moves he says will help you ring in the new year with a profit. Todd Schoenberger, the managing director of Land Cold Trading, joining us now with some picks. Todd, tell us, what can we expect for 2011? Where should we be putting our money?
Well, the markets realistically should be doing quite well next year. Already this year, we're up over 12% in the S&P with the intraday trading today. Next year, if you just look at history, the third year of a presidential term is historically the best out of the 4 years. So we should continue to see the markets doing quite well next year. So there's lots of opportunities out there for investors, and I have a number of picks for you if you guys want to hear them.
I do want to hear them. But first, before we get to those, Todd, let me just ask you another question about 2011. How nimble do you have to be as an investor? You obviously over the last couple of years have had to have been very nimble, but you know, it looks like we have very little in terms of headwinds going into 2011, but 2012 is kind of rearing its ugly head on the horizon.
It does seem that way, Chris. You know, there's a couple of things there. There's a number of items that are out there that could prevent any type of a bull rally in 2011. Clearly, geopolitical concerns. Right now, we have several alerts that are taking place. What's taking place in Korea doesn't help the markets as far as a security issue. And then you also have to look at earnings, at just the fundamentals alone. When you look at quarter 3 of this year, you had 83% of S&P 500 companies beat on the bottom line. Historically, the number 62% of companies beat. If the number starts to trickle down going into 2011, yeah, that could be a sign of a bear market going into 2012. But right now, all signals are looking higher, and you have to be bullish right now going into the new year.
All right, Todd, so give us some of your picks. What industries are you liking? Any names that we can start to put our money in?
Okay, I love the Travel and Leisure Index. Over just the last 24 months, this has been a sensational sector. It's beaten the S&P 500. And when you look at some of the components in there, it's the companies that really cater to the business traveler. The Hyatts, Delta, Southwest Airlines, even Marriott have done tremendously well. And if you really look at some of the airlines and just moving forward, you still have a number of companies that aren't hiring, but they are using their labor force as their road warriors, if you will. They're sending them out to cut deals and meet with clients. So those are the companies that are doing really well within that index, and they probably will continue to do well unless you really start seeing a number of hires going on with some of the multinationals. But I just don't see it for the new year.
Todd, apparel retail is very hit or miss. You seem to like best in breed in this segment.
Yeah, well, I think when you just taken Jeff Flock's report there previously with me coming on, when the gentleman was speaking how people are actually buying for themselves, the one company that is out there that has really been spectacular is Ann Taylor. And it's really because women are spending money on themselves again. When you start looking at the month-over-month increase over the last 3 months, we've had double-digit increases of women's dress sales. So women are spending money on themselves. Ann Taylor has been the big beneficiary of that. The stock's up over 100% for the year. It's probably going to continue going into the new year.
I can certainly attest to that.
I'm sure you can, Shibani. I know you also like Apple and ExxonMobil, Todd. You've been consistent with that. We'll check in with you in 2011 to see how it's going. Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you.
Happy holidays to you, Todd. Todd Schoenberger.
Likewise.
Joining us from Land Colt, as he does quite often on the show.